Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we will be looking at the ongoing Master's and PhD Degree Research Scholarship at the University of Melbourne in Australia. Like I already mentioned in one of my previous videos, that the Australian border is open to international students. So you have the opportunity to apply as much as possible to every scholarship that is coming out from Australia. So without further ado, let's get started. Yeah, so we are going to be searching for the University of Melbourne Research Scholarship on Google. Click on the first link. So the first link will take you to the application platform. Here you can see that the benefit is really fully funded. You don't have to pay any tuition fee. As well, it is applicable to all study areas. So one important thing to note is that they have available position up to like 600. Let's move to the eligibility section. So to be eligible, you must have applied to a master's course in Australia at this University of Melbourne. So the selection criteria is that they will have to assess your academic achievement as well as your research potential. So they also took into account some factors such as your relevant professional experience, refereed publication, specialist medical qualifications, so on. So you really want to put your best foot forward for this scholarship application. So application process, like I already mentioned, you just have to submit a graduate admission application. So when you already submit that, you will be considered for this scholarship. So the scholarship, again, is fully funded. It provides full tuition fee, living allowance, relocation grant, and as well health insurance benefit. So to access all these graduate research course, you can click on, okay, application process, click on this. So we can click on international applicant. Then again, we can click on application. Yeah, I'm going to post the link to the course page and as well the link to the scholarship. So we can click on graduate course page. Yeah. So these are the program areas that you can apply to. For instance, if I'm interested in chemistry, I can click on chemistry. Then we have in this section, you really want to click on graduate research. So if you're interested in PhD or MSc, like you can click on each and every one because you can see it is a research degree, obviously. So let's say I'm interested in the third Master of Philosophy in Science. So this is like the tab for the page. So the entry requirements, let's check entry requirement. So this is requiring us to have a 4-year bachelor's degree or also a master's degree in relevant discipline. So, and also one thing they stress here is that you have to have at least a CGPA of 75% of the total your final subject or equivalent, yeah, at the total, like 75% of your total CGPA. So you really want to have that, and as well your master's degree. Okay. Another thing is the fact that your referee report, of course, your recommendation letter, and lastly, your endorsement from a prospective supervisor. So it is essential that you find a supervisor for most of the application programs in Australia in general. So now, how can we access the supervisor page? We can go to how to apply. So once we click on how to apply, we can click on this Faculty of Science Research Prospectus, or you can click on any of these field of study. Let's say I'm interested in chemistry. So I can scroll, navigate to research groups. So you can check each of these research field. anyone that you feel like, okay, it aligns with what you've done in the past. So it is very essential that you try to like pick research group based on what probably the course you've taken or probably your research experience, because it is very, very good. Because in Australia, they are really focused on research. Like they want people that they already know what they want to do, not that they will start to teach you. Though, of course, you'll be mentored and tutored, but at least you must know like 50% for me, like 50% of what you are here to do. So, and of course, they will know from your application document and also from your email to the supervisor. So now there's something to pay attention to here. They said the asterisk denotes academics, who can act as the principal supervisor for honors, masters, and PhD students. So you can see some of them are asterisk. So you really want to pay attention to that. And as well, one thing I would like to stress is the fact that don't just pick professors, click on doctors as well to see. Okay, take for instance, let's say I'm interested in, let me see, okay, maybe I'm interested in Australian Laboratory for Emerging Contaminant. I can click on this professor, find an expert. Okay, so this is the professor's page. So you can see like his current research project, let's say his project. So you can see non-target analysis suspect screen for the detection of emerging contaminant in Victorian groundwater. So here you can read about it, like you can read about the project, click on this, and also the scholarly work. So you really want to pay attention to this. Make sure you check this, because um, I'm going to speak about how to email the supervisor. You really want to pay attention to the most recent publication. Like Australia, you can see, let's go back to the project. You can see this, basically this project is completed. So you really want to focus on any publication that aligns with this current project. And of course, you can also mention something about this uh, previous project, like previous project. So it is also good because the professor can also be submitting a proposal based on the success of this work. So you, like now, you see they already published a journal, a manuscript on this last project. So you can also read about it and critique this article, critique that, okay, fine, they did not do this. So the professor can even get some insight on the question you are putting forward based on the previous manuscript published. So that can even feel like, okay, I think that I can like package a grant application based on this recommendation. So I think you really want to do that. So if you cannot find a publication like on the active projects, you can also pick the most recent, just like this, and also critique it. So I think that's that about. So also you can send emails to a lot of supervisors. So you make sure you send emails to a lot of them, like maybe two. You can pick two of them initially. So if you follow, you can check my YouTube video about how to send an email to professor and get a fast reply. Make sure you check this video. It is really so. If you know that you are interested in a research scholarship, that you want to perform a research in your postgraduate, you should be able to send this kind of email, because you must be able to read the article, read it very well, and come up with two questions, asking like relevant question about what has not been done. Check this particular video and you will see the way I have sent that type of email in the past, and the supervisor replied like in a matter of hours. So same day, so the supervisor replied. So make sure, because if you are getting a quick reply, that will tell you that, okay, I need to find another supervisor. So because if you are just sending a generic email, you might not get any reply maybe in the next 1 month, so you might not know the next action to take. So make sure you send a tailored email, and that will enable you to get a fast reply so you can know the next line of action. So I think that is that about that. So one thing I also want to point out is for engineering students, um, Yeah, I'm trying to go back. Okay. So now take for instance, if I'm interested in chemical engineering, okay, take for instance, if I'm interested in chemical engineering, I'll click on graduate research. Also, let's say I'm interested in masters of philosophy. Yeah. So we can go to fees and scholarship. I think fees and scholarship. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think we should go to how to apply. All right. So if you go to how to apply, there is a particular portion here. I think it is like same for all engineering programs. Click on current research project. Yeah, so these are the current research project for engineering students. Make sure you check this part. You can see the first part is for computing and information system, electrical and electronic engineering. I think the next is for chemical engineering. I think there are a lot of projects for computer science students and engineering. Also, biomedical engineering, you really want to check all these programs. So also mechanical engineering, make sure you check all these parts. Send the email, send a tailored email to that particular professor of interest. Let's say, for instance, if you are finding it difficult to find the professor and find an expert, you can always like go to Google Scholar, type the name of the professor, and you will see the most recent publication. So one thing you really want to pay attention to is the scholarship deadline. Make sure you check your course page and see the deadline of your program. You can see most of these positions closes like in the next 2 decades. So you really want to take advantage of all this. Make sure you send an email. So and also it applies to all other programs as well, not just engineering. Make sure you check this page. So they really have a competitive scholarship. And as well, your CV, make sure you check on how to make an academic CV video. The video is also nice, so it will really help you as well. So I think that will be all for now about the um, Australian scholarship at the University of Melbourne. In case you have any comment or question about this scholarship, make sure you drop your comment. I'll reply to them as fast as possible. So thank you guys. If you are new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and also turn on the notification bell. This week I will be rolling out how to write statement of purpose. I think I have started the channel. Like I've started the channel basically. So make sure you click already released session 1. Make sure you click and watch what I already discussed. I'll be dropping another video this week about writing statement of purpose. So thank you guys. See you very soon.